Chapter 11. The leaders of Israel lived in Jerusalem. The rest of the people cast lots to choose one family out of every 10 to live in the holy city of Jerusalem. The rest of the people stayed in the other towns and villages. The people blessed all those who willingly chose to live in Jerusalem. The people of Israel, the priests, the Levites, the temple servants, and the descendants of Solomon's servants lived in the towns and villages belonging to their own properties. This is the list of the leaders of the province of Judah who lived in Jerusalem. From the tribe of Judah, Athaiah, son of Uzziah, grandson of Zechariah. His ancestors were Amariah, Shephatiah, and Mahalah. Descendants of Perez, son of Judah, Mosiah, son of Baruch, grandson of Calhoz. His ancestors were Haziah, Adiah, Joiarib, and Zechariah. Descendants of Shelah, son of Judah, from the descendants of Perez, 468 brave men. From the tribe of Benjamin, Salu, son of Meshullam, grandson of Jod. His ancestors were Pedaiah, Kaliah, Mosiah, Ethiel, and Jeshiah. Gabai and Salai, close relatives of Salu. Altogether, 928 men from the tribe of Benjamin lived in Jerusalem. Joel, son of Zichri, was their chief, and Judah, son of Hasanua, was the assistant. The priests, Jediah, son of Joiarib, and Yakin. Sariah, son of Hilkiah, grandson of Meshullam. His ancestors were Zadok, Merioth, and Ahitub, who served as the ruler of the temple. Altogether, 822 men from this group of families carried out temple work. Adaiah, son of Jeraham, grandson of Palaiah. His ancestors were Amzi, Zechariah, Pashur, and Malchijah. There were 242 heads of families in this group. Amushi, son of Azarel, grandson of Azai. His ancestors were Meshelmouth and Immer. There were 128 brave warriors in this group. Their leader was Zabdiel, a man of great standing. The Levites, Shemaiah, son of Hasab, grandson of Azrikam. His ancestors were Hashabiah and Buni, Shabbathai, and Josabad. Important Levites were in charge of the outside work of the temple. Toniah, son of Micah, grandson of Zabdi, descendant of Asaph, led the thanksgiving prayer in the temple. Bakbukiah was his assistant. Abda, son of Shammua, grandson of Galel, descendant of Jeduthun. Altogether, 284 Levites lived in the holy city of Jerusalem. Temple guards, Akab Talman, and their relatives 172 in all. The rest of the Israelites, along with the priests and Levites, lived on their properties in the towns and villages of Judah. The temple workers lived in the area of Jerusalem called Ophel and worked under the supervision of Ziha and Gishpa. The head of the Levites in Jerusalem was Utzi, son of Bani, grandson of Hashabiah. His ancestors were Matana and Micah. He belonged to the family line of Asaph, the group responsible for the music and temple services. There were royal regulations regarding how the family groups were to take turns daily in leading the music in the temple. Pethahiah, son of Meshezabel, from the descendants of Zerah, son of Judah, represented the people of Israel at the king of Persia's court. Many Israelites lived in cities near their farms. Those from the tribe of Judah lived in Kirioth, Arba, Dibon, Jekabzil, and their nearby villages, as well as in Jeshua, Malada, Beth Pelet, Hazar, Shual, Beersheba, and its surroundings. They also lived in Ziklag, Makona, and its villages, in Enriman, Zorah, Jarmuth, Zenoah, Adullam, and nearby villages. They lived in Lachish, in its fields, and in Azekah, in its villages. In summary, the people of Judah lived in the region from Beersheba in the south to the valley of Hinnom in the north. The people of the tribe of Benjamin lived in the areas from Geba northward, including Michmash, Ijah, Bethel, and its villages, and Anathoth, Nob, Ananiah, Hazor, Ramah, Gittim, Hadid, Zeboim, Nabalat, Lod, and Ono in the valley of craftsmen. Some groups of Levites from Judah were assigned to live among the people of Benjamin. Chapter 12. This is the list of the priests and Levites who returned from captivity with Zerubbabel, son of Shealtiel, and with Joshua the high priest. The priests were Sariah, Jeremiah, Ezra, Amariah, Malash, Tosh, Shechaniah, Rehum, Meremoth, Edo, Ginnathan, Uzzah, Mijamin, Madiah, Bilgah, Shemaiah, Doiah, Ejediah, Salu, Amok, Hilkiah, and Jediah. These men were leaders among the priests during the time of Joshua. The Levites in charge of the songs of praise were Jeshua, Benui, Kadmiel, Sherebiah, Judah, and Mattaniah. The following formed the choir that sang the responses, Bakbukia, Unni, and their fellow Levites. Jeshua was the father of Joachim. Joachim was the father of Eliashib. Eliashib was the father of Joiada. Joiada was the father of Jonathan, and Jonathan was the father of Jaddua. When Joachim was high priest, the following priests were heads of the priestly families: Moriah from the family of Sariah, Naniah from the family of Jeremiah, Meshullam from the family of Ezra Johanan, from the family of Amariah, Jonathan from the family of Malach, Joseph from the family of Shebaniah, Adnah from the family of Haram Helkai, from the family of Moriath, Zechariah from the family of Iddo, Meshullam from the family of Ginnethon, Zikri from the family of Abijah, an unnamed head from the family of Miniamin, Piltai from the family of Modeah, Shemwa from the family of Bilgah, Jonathan from the family of Shemaiah, Mattaniah from the family of Joiarib, Utzi from the family of Judea, Kalai from the family of Salai, Heber from the family of Amok, Hashabiah from the family of Hilkiah, and Nethanel from the family of Judea. A record of the heads of the Levite families and of the priestly families was kept during the lifetimes of Eliashib, Joiada, Johanan, and Jaddua. The record ended during the reign of Darius, king of Persia. However, the heads of the Levite families were recorded only up to the time of Johanan, son of Eliashib. The Levites were organized into groups led by Hashabiah, Sherebiah, Jeshua, Binui, and Kadmiel. The choir was divided into two groups. One sang, and the other responded, giving thanks to God in the way commanded by King David, the man of God. The guards who were responsible for the storehouses near the temple gates were Mattaniah, Bakbukia, Obadiah, Meshullam, Talmon, and Akub. These men lived during the time of Joachim, son of Jeshua, son of Yozadak, and in the days of Nehemiah the governor and Ezra the priest and teacher of the law, when the walls of Jerusalem were dedicated. The Levites were brought from all the places where they lived to celebrate with songs of thanksgiving and with music from harps, lyres, and cymbals. The families of Levite singers gathered from around Jerusalem, from the villages around Netapha, from Beth Gilgal, and from Geba and Asmaveth. The priests and Levites purified themselves, the people, the gates, and the walls. Nehemiah assembled the leaders of Judah on top of the wall and organized them into two large choirs to march around the city, giving thanks to God. The first group marched to the right, toward the Dung Gate. Following the singers was Hoshea and half of the leaders of Judah. Then came the priests blowing trumpets: Azariah, Ezra, Meshullam, Judah, Benjamin, Shemaiah, and Jeremiah. Next came Zechariah, son of Jonathan, grandson of Shemaiah. His other ancestors were Mattaniah, Micaiah, and Zechariah of the family of Asaph. Zechariah was followed by Shemaiah, Azarel, Malale, Gilalai, Maai, Nethanel, Judah, and Hanani. They carried the musical instruments used by King David, the man of God. Ezra, the teacher of the law, led this group. The fountain gate, they climbed the stairs up to the city of David, past the palace of David, and returned to the wall at the water gate on the east side. The second choir went in the opposite direction, to the left, also marching on top of the wall. Nehemiah followed them with half of the people. They went from the Tower of the Ovens to the broad wall, past the Ephraim gate, the Jesiana gate, the Fish gate, the Tower of Hananel, and the Tower of the 100, and on to the Sheep gate. The procession ended at the temple gate. The two choirs took their places in the area of the temple. With the leaders who were with Nehemiah were the following priests blowing trumpets: Maaseiah, Naaman, Micaiah, Eliani, Zechariah, and Hananiah. Mea, also Maaseiah, Shemaiah, Eleazar, Utzi, Johanan, Malchijah, Elam, and Ezer. The singers, led by Jezrahiah, sang loudly with all their strength. On that day many sacrifices were offered, and the people rejoiced greatly, for God had filled them with great joy. The women and children also celebrated, and the sound of rejoicing was heard far away. On that same day men were appointed to take charge of the storerooms for the offerings, the firstfruits, and the tithes. They collected from the fields near the towns the portions required by the law for the priests and Levites. The people of Judah were pleased with the priests and Levites who served, because they had performed the purification ceremonies and all the other duties required by God. The musicians and gatekeepers performed their duties according to the commands of David and his son Solomon. Long before, since the time of David and Asaph, the musicians had led songs of praise and thanksgiving to God. In the days of Zerubbabel and in the days of Nehemiah, all Israel gave daily support to the singers and gatekeepers. The people also gave the sacred offerings to the Levites, and the Levites gave the priests their share. Chapter 13. The law of Moses was being read aloud to the people. Then they came to the passage that says that no Ammonite or Moabite should ever be allowed to join the people of God. This was because the people of Ammon and Moab had not given food or water to the Israelites on their journey when they came out of Egypt. Instead, those two peoples had paid Balaam to curse the people of Israel. But our God turned the curse into a blessing. When the Israelites heard the reading of this law, they expelled all foreigners from the country. Before these events, the priest Eliashib, who was in charge of the storerooms of the temple, had made an alliance with Tobiah through family ties. Because of this, he had allowed Tobiah to use a large room where the grain offerings, incense, temple utensils, offerings for the priests, and the tenth of grain, wine, and oil for the Levites, singers, and gatekeepers used to be stored. However, when this happened, I was not in Jerusalem, because in the 32nd year of Artaxerxes king of Babylon, I had returned there to give the king my report. But later he gave me permission to return. When I returned to Jerusalem and learned about the evil Eliashib had done in giving Tobiah a room in the temple of God, I was furious. I threw all of Tobiah's furniture out of the room. Then I ordered that the room be purified and that the temple utensils, the grain offerings, and the incense be put back in their place. I also learned that the singers and other Levites had returned to their fields because the people were not giving them the support they needed. So I rebuked the officials and asked them why the house of God had been neglected. Then I brought the Levites and singers back and put them in their positions again. All the people of Israel once again brought the tenth of grain, wine, and oil to the storerooms. I put in charge of the storerooms the priest Shelemiah, Zadok the scribe, and a Levite named Pedaiah, and I appointed Hanan son of Zachar, the grandson of Mattaniah, to assist them. I knew they could be trusted to distribute the supplies to their fellow workers fairly. Oh my God, remember me for this, and do not forget the good things I have done for the temple and its services. In those days I saw people in Judah treading winepresses on the Sabbath. Others were loading their donkeys with grain, wine, grapes, figs, and all kinds of goods, bringing them into Jerusalem on the Sabbath. So I warned them not to sell food on that day. People from Tyre who lived in Jerusalem brought fish and all kinds of merchandise to sell to the people of Judah on the Sabbath. So I rebuked the leaders of Judah and said, "Look at the evil you are doing. You are profaning the Sabbath day. Wasn't it because of this that our ancestors were punished and this city was destroyed? And now you are bringing even more wrath upon Israel by profaning the Sabbath." So I ordered that the city gates be shut as evening approached before the Sabbath began, and not opened again until the Sabbath was over. I placed some of my servants at the gates, so that no load could be brought into the city on the Sabbath. Once or twice the merchants and sellers of goods spent the night outside the city walls. But I warned them, "Why are you spending the night outside the wall? If you do that again, I will take action against you." After that, they did not come again on the Sabbath. Then I told the Levites to purify themselves and guard the gates to make sure the Sabbath would be kept holy. Oh my God, remember me for this also, and have mercy on me according to your great love. At that time I also saw Jews who had married women from Ashdod, Ammon, and Moab. Half of their children spoke the language of Ashdod, or some other language, and did not know how to speak the language of Judah. I rebuked them, called down curses on them, beat some of them, and pulled out their hair. I made them swear in the name of God that they would never again allow their sons or daughters to marry foreigners. I said to them, "Was it not foreign women who led King Solomon of Israel into sin? There was never a king like him among all nations. He was loved by God, who made him king over all Israel, yet even he was led into sin by foreign women. Are we now to follow his example and disobey our God by marrying foreign women?" One of the sons of Joiada, son of Eliashib the high priest, had married a daughter of Sanballat of Beth Horon, so I drove him away from me. My God, Remember how they defiled the priesthood and the covenant you made with the priests and the Levites? So I purified the people from everything foreign and assigned duties to the priests and Levites, each to his own task. I arranged for the wood offering at appointed times and for the firstfruits. Remember me, O my God, and bless me.